The Sokkinakia'pi project is about reaffirming our health needs as Ghana. So we are going to be conducting a community needs assessment, looking at what we need within community. What is our current health state? And how can we use that information to determine how we're going to move forward into the future through developing programs, looking at training opportunities for community members. The Faculty of Health Sciences works really closely within this project. And the reason for that is so that we can build capacity within our community. So the surveys for the Sokkinakia'pi project will be released to the public. We are getting ready to submit ethics to receive approval to conduct research in the institution. And then once the surveys are released, the data warriors will be knocking on doors and asking if you would like to fill out the surveys in person on paper, or if they can reach you through phone at a later time. We also have a team of research assistants that are from Ghana as well. They will be going into community with the data warriors. The research assistants will also be on site at the engagement sessions or the focus groups.
My specific duties are working on the community needs assessment survey that will be coming out into the community. And so I am a part of a team of 6. We are the first all Ghana research team working in the health research field. And my role here is really just to empower our community members and bring in our perspective, my Kainai perspective into this research project, and so that it's for community by community.
From now on, this phase is that we're going to be going to do the surveys. I will be going to houses and sitting down with our people, seeing if they need help with the surveys, answering the questions that they have about the survey, sitting down with them, reading it over with them, just being that person to, respond if they have any questions. It's very face-to-face. We visit, we share stories, and I think that's one of the major keys to this is that we sit down with our people and be transparent, and that they can feel comfortable, because when it comes to health, it's a very delicate spot for a lot of our people. And so just to feel comfort and knowing that we're speaking from Nitsitipi to Nitsitipi is what is going to be key.
Okay, to me, this project means not only bringing in our own people to do the research, but it differs from the other 2 research projects that I've done, is because those were non-Indigenous led. This one is all Indigenous led. I'm excited to see the end result. And also a big one for me is just to see how much of an impact that this project is going to have for our people.
I know it's the first of its kind, so it's exciting to be a part of that, and knowing that it's all Indigenous led. And I'm really passionate about research, so this is something that I'm excited about. And I think it's about time that, we are our own experts and that we lead in this research. And, we need to be a part of every aspect that is involved in doing our own research.
The goals and the objectives of the project is to reaffirm our health needs moving forward in the next 10 to 15 years. So the information gathered in community will be used to develop and renew the Kainai Health Services Plan. And with that, Blood Tribe Department of Health will be able to identify services that may need to be developed to meet community needs.
So when we talked about Sokkinakia'pi and entered into a an agreement between the Blood Tribe and the University of Lethbridge, Iniskim University. The whole notion was that we were going to approach the whole notion of health and wellness from an indigenous perspective. So Sokkinakia'pi includes all that notion, physical, mental, spiritual wellness of people, okay? And so, and the whole approach was going to be led by the Blood Tribe.
We've come to that day and age that data is very, very important to our people, you know, that we own the data, that we use the data for our own use, you know, for our own benefit as well too, you know. Such things like privacy and confidentiality, of course, are, you know, are very, very important items, you know, protocols and stuff like that, that we need to base, you know, the research, we need to base the collection of data for our use, for our benefit, for our privacy, and our confidential information about who we are, you know. So I think it's very, very important. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to isolate ourselves and that we're going to isolate that data. It just means that we've got ownership of it, you know. We've got possession of that data, and we will decide when we can share that data with external and internal partners.
It was a very important day for me, and I was very grateful to have been there. Why? Well, because I've been at the university for close to 50 years. Next year, it'll be 50 years that I've been at the university and involved in higher education. So when we bring about these type of agreements and so on, when we hear about a Southern Alberta medical program coming about, that does include that whole notion about indigenous knowledge and so on. Hey, everything seems to be just coming together. And those lifelong dreams that I have about having as many of our people get post-secondary qualifications and credits and so on, hey, I see it coming true. So that's why it was very important for me.
Certain things, you know, that we've actually taken a closer look at with regards to that partnership. And again, it's building capacity for our people, not just in providing health and programs and services, but also having the capacity to do our own research, you know, that type of thing, you know. So again, we do realize, you know, that we still need to be educated around the whole notion about research and surveys and those type of things, you know. But we're very, very careful with regards to this partnership, you know, that we protect that data for ourselves. We control that data for ourselves. We have access to that data when we want it and how we want to use that data is so important, you know. So part of that partnership, you know, with the University of Lethbridge has some protocols and has some policies to protect that data from being used against what we want it to be used for.
That's the kind of thing we're now saying, hey, we've been generous in the past, but now we're wanting to protect all of our knowledge and so on. If we're going to share, hey, there has to be some kind of quid pro quo exchange.
Reciprocity, eh?
Reciprocity. if we're going to share and if you're going to make use of our knowledge.
It's also based on who we are. There's certain principles and values that we uphold that are sacred to us and that form part and parcel of how we deliver services to our community members, whether they be in health, in education, in child welfare, those type of things, So that forms the root and the foundation of who we are. So how we do that is to continue to introduce our own Blackfoot way of healing, of treatment, of providing care to our people based on those principles of honesty, humility, respect, caring, sharing, those type of things. And that's what makes us so unique as a Department of Health. We've gone beyond the standard traditional Western model of health. We've also introduced who we are, our ways of knowing, our ways of being, and using our traditional protocols, our traditional healing practices to integrate into the Western model that we see everywhere, So again, like I said, I think the component of integrating who we are into our healthcare system goes far above and beyond what we've seen in the past.
At the 10th anniversary of the Buffalo Treaty, one of the chiefs, in fact, came out and he says, what I've realized from this gathering is that governance is ceremony.